Hi there, this is Snacks and Stacks, and I like to talk about books, TV shows, and movies. And today we are going to do a September update. The reason why I am calling it an update is because I'm also going to let you know some of the shows that I am in the middle of, and that way it's not quite a wrap up, but I just found that it might be interesting for me to let you know what I'm currently watching. I am currently in the middle of 3 shows. So we have My Dress Up Darling Season 2. I covered a bit of My Dress Up Darling Season 1 and probably a little bit of Season 2 in my last anime wrap up because I do adore it very much, even though there is a lot of fan service in there. But I am finishing up Season 2 with my husband probably sometime next month once everything has been dubbed. I'm also in the middle of Kaiju number 8, Season 2, and I just started the morning show because I just got Apple TV because I got a new laptop. So I have 3 months to watch as much Apple TV as I can. If you have any Apple TV recommendations, let me know. I know I want to watch Ted Lasso and also Severance. So hopefully I will get to those soon as well. As far as movies this month, I only watched 28 Days Later. It is a zombie movie. We decided to watch it with our friends in lieu of the season. And I normally do not watch any horror, so my friends were like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" But I watch Resident Evil with my husband, and so I was like, I can do zombie movies. And this was the weirdest zombie movie ever. It started out like a zombie movie, but then I was like upset and crying, and then at the very end I was cracking up. So we follow the events of a 12-year-old Spike, and his father takes him out from this quarantine island in a coming of ritual to hunt zombies on the mainland. This is a continuation of the 28 Days Later kind of franchise. And no, I haven't seen 28 Days Later. I want to though, now that I've seen 28 Years Later. It was such an interesting movie. I would love more people to watch it to see if this is something that is normal in zombie movies or if this one is just special. I did like it though, even for a person who doesn't normally do horror. There were parts where I was like, tell me when that's over. Some other standouts would be Discovery of Witches Season 1. I don't know if it was just like that day, but I was binging through them. I really liked it so far, but I haven't found the need to pick it back up, so I don't know what that quite means. Maybe because other people were telling me to read the books, and then I had a friend who said they aren't that great. So then I got I got kind of weirded out, and I didn't find that I wanted to pick it back up. But in that show, we have a witch, Diana, who has kind of denounced magic because her parents were killed in like this magician magic situation. And so, yeah, she becomes a professor and a studier. A professor and scholar of alchemy, and as she's studying, she's in Oxford right now as a like presenter, as a researcher and presenting professor, not anyone permanent on staff, but there's an opening happening, and so she needs to finish this paper and presentation, and somehow she's able to call out this book that nobody else has been able to for a very long time, like hundreds of years. And the vampire, Matthew, played by Matthew Good, who I absolutely adore as an actor, he is the main male interest and also the reason why I started watching this. But he comes up and is like, hey, I need that book, but also like everybody wants that book. So like, be careful because there's a ton of people that are gonna be after you for that book. He doesn't say it quite that nicely, but you know, I'm just summing it up. And he finds himself wanting to protect her. And so, you know, they get close. I really enjoyed this season. I think it's great for fall fantasy moods. I need to just pick it back up because now that I'm talking about it, I am interested. I did like the show. I thought that the special effects were lacking. My husband was watching in the background and was like, "What are you watching?" And I was like, I'm watching this. And he was like, I think that's also that, is my husband's not really into it. So then I don't have a buddy to keep watching it. But I thought the story was well done, and even though it is a bit insta-lovey, I am going to forgive that, I think, at least for now. So speaking of like getting Apple TV, the whole reason why I subscribed and like got it, because normally even if I have a 3-month free thing, I would be like, no, it's fine, I don't need an extra thing to consume. But Murderbot was on there. And I had seen some of the people I follow, mainly Bookborn, saying that Murderbot was really good and worth watching. So that was the first show that I watched once I got Apple TV. And I would say it is so much fun and it's so bingeable. The tone of the TV show is quite different, I think, from the book, because the books are funny, but they're not like that funny, not in a bad way, but they don't come across as like that kind of funny to me. And I read these books out loud to my husband, and so like he also knows the plot, and so we'd be watching, and finally we have a show where we're watching, and I'm like, did that happen in the book? And he goes, I don't think so. And then we could like actually like talk about it together, which is a lot of fun as well. But yeah, so Murderbot is about a construct made of human parts, but is not quite human, and it is a security unit. So it is a humanoid that a corporation owns that people can hire to keep them secure and safe while they are surveying other planets, or well, that's what this team is doing. They're surveying another planet, and so they have this one sec unit whose job is to protect them from anything. It could be themselves, it could be things that are on the planet, other enemies, whatever. And so this sec unit, Murderbot, he calls himself, is very special because he has hacked his governor module, which is this piece of equipment that forces the construct to do whatever it is that people are telling it to do. So you see in the very beginning, like they treat it like trash. And because of this, he's hacked it. But the funny thing about Murderbot is he has somehow become like socially anxious, and also he just wants to watch entertainment. So his hacking of the governor module doesn't consequence in like taking over or trying to, you know, rule the world. Like, it's not like that kind of AI robot story. It's just Murderbot's just there. He's like, I could probably run away, but what for? If they catch me, they will then melt me down or reset me. I'd rather just be like here and be chill and just watch TV. So that's what he does. And he gets assigned to this group that doesn't believe that these constructs should be used this way. And so they already treat him differently than other humans do. And they end up in some sort of trouble. I will say that the tension I felt on the TV show between this group and Murderbot didn't feel as high as they were in the books. So that was one difference. But I absolutely recommend it. It is so much fun. I recommend it if you like the books. I recommend it if you just like sci-fi. And I also recommend it if you have some interest, but you're not too deep into sci-fi, because it really is not about actual science. And it's not really too much about planets as it is just about defining what a human is, and also just pure entertainment. So I highly recommend it. And I did watch another anime. Aside from the animes that I'm currently in the middle of, I did watch and finish 7-Time Loop. The villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy. These names are so long. And this is another reincarnation anime where the main character, Riche, is actually reincarnating back into herself every time. And this is her 7th time doing so. So it's kind of like Groundhog Day, where after she dies, she wakes up and she's back to this pivotal point in her life, which is where the prince basically breaks the engagement with her. And from here, she has picked 6 other different avenues to go down. She was once an herbalist, scholar, maid, knight, a merchant. And so all of these has built her person in some way, but every single time she dies because of a war that is started by Prince Arnold. And so this time she gets a chance to become engaged to Prince Arnold, and she decides that she's going to do that because she wants to try to stop the war from happening, and so then she can live a long, peaceful life. I thought this anime was done pretty well. If you recall, or if you've watched my other wrap up, you'll see that I've watched another villainous reincarnation. This one's very different from that, where I think that the characters felt a little bit more grown up, but it was still very similar in that we had this main character that just felt a little OP, but also I really liked her as a main character, and I liked how smart she was. So that's everything I watched in September. Let me know if there's anything on Apple TV that you would recommend, and if you have any suggestions, or if you've watched any of the ones that I mentioned. Happy binging, happy snacking, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.